Hi everyone, welcome to another Nature Walks video. Today I want to introduce you to another butterfly that you can have a look for. We're now well into June and this butterfly has been on the wing for a little while now, but I'm starting to see a lot more of them, so it tends to be quite a good time to have a look for them, and it might be one that you might normally miss because it doesn't have the same wing pattern or the wing shape of a typical butterfly. So I'm going to introduce you to it. This is where I am. I'm sort of stood in a sort of recently clear-felled bit of conifer plantation, sort of mixed conifer deciduous woodland, with a little bit of sort of developing scrub. It's quite a cool day, as you can sort of see from the sky. It's quite dull and overcast, which isn't usually a good time to find butterflies, but if you do find them, they tend to sit quietly, which is why this is a good opportunity to show you this one. So I'll show you it now. So it's just down here on the floor. I'll get in close, hopefully it won't fly off. Okay, can you see it? Just on that bramble leaf. So at first looks, it's just a bit of a dull looking brown with a bit of orange butterfly. There's a blade of green grass right in front of it, unfortunately. And it looks a bit odd because it doesn't have sort of such rounded wings. You know, very typically a butterfly would have an elongated body with very big wings, very rounded over the side, but this one doesn't have that. So this tells me this is one of the skippers. So this is a skipper butterfly. There are three species. There is large skipper, small skipper, and the Essex skipper. Now don't be tricked by the names, because large skipper is slightly larger, but it's still a pretty small butterfly. And Essex skipper isn't only found in Essex, it's found sort of in the southeast mostly, but it can be quite sort of far ranging, maybe not as far as Devon very often, but we do get a small number. So the question is, which one is this one and how do you identify it? How do you tell the difference between them? Well, there's two ways you can do it with this butterfly. You can look at the antennae and you can look at the underside wing pattern, and perfectly we can see that on both of these. So let's focus in on those features. So we'll do the underside pattern because it's probably the easier of the two. But large skipper, which is what this one is, displays checkered patterns. So I don't know if you can just see, but there are a few small dots or squares towards the back of the wing. It's quite a decorative looking wing. If this was either small or Essex skipper, that wing would be very, very plain. There'd be none of those checkering marks on the wing. And the other way you can tell is to look at the antennae. So you can just see those at the end of those little projections. Now, in large, well actually I'm going to say in small and Essex skipper, they are blunt and they tend to be rounded at the end. Whereas with large skipper, they have a hooked tip. And I don't know whether you can see that on this one. I'll try and get a better view over the top. But can you just see there's a little hook, particularly that top one just hanging over. Can you see that hook on the end of the antennae? Now that's a diagnostic feature. The other two definitely don't have that. So they're the best features to be able to tell them apart. Now large skipper is the most common of the lot, but you can find all of them. They're all in the wing, on the wing by the end of June. Large skipper is the first out at the end of May, then followed by the small skipper, and the Essex skipper is last right at the end of June. So you can come across any of them. They're called skippers because they tend to fly very fast, low, flicking between sort of perch points like this on the edge of bramble or on the edge of scrub. So if you see that pattern, it's very likely that it could be a skipper butterfly. They're all these sort of dull orange brown colours, so you can have a look for that as a bit of an ID feature. And they all have their larval food plant as grasses, so they're pretty common. They're pretty able to adapt to most situations. So have a look, see if you can spot one. Large skipper is the most common, so start with that one and then work your way backwards. So take a photo, look for those antennae, little hooks, and look for that checkered pattern under the wing. All right, enjoy.